dropping columns from a table. Let's go down to here. Let's go back up again. Column clauses. And we're looking at drop column clause. And this is rather interesting and complicated. I don't really know how far we should go with this, but I'll explain it briefly. Essentially, you can drop a column by column name, or you can drop a bunch of columns. So what I could do here is I could say alter table venue drop, and let's go back to the manual and look at the syntax. Drop column name, or drop list of columns. Drop column, new column 1. Run it. Done. Go back to the venue table again. Let's just keep this fast and describe the table. As you can see, we now have no new column 1, but we have new column 2 and new column 3. So let's go back to the manual again. And as you can see here, we can do multiples. So let's go and do multiples. Let's do alter tables, not drop table. Venue, drop column, new column 2, new column 3. And let's just go and check the syntax on that. Drop. See, there's the word column there. There's the bracket. We don't need this thing because it's assuming it knows what to drop. So we do this. We go back to the table again, run this guy, and we're going to see that these things are gone. Now let's go back to the syntax again. Without going into the details, first of all, I can cascade constraints. What that means is that if I drop a primary key, it will actually drop all the data in subset tables. It's rather dangerous. You want to be really careful with that. Invalidation and checkpoints. Invalidate means that it invalidates primary and foreign keys and makes a mess of your database. Checkpoints means it goes up to a certain point. It's too complicated. Set unused means that if you've got a really huge table, you don't want to drop the column and actually physically delete the data. You just mark the column as unused, which means that your table can't access it. If you want to later on reclaim the space, you would go and say drop unused columns. What it means is that in a really huge data warehouse that's terabytes large, if you drop a single column and it's a very heavily used table, it could actually cause major issues with speed and performance because you're busy, essentially you're restructuring the data, you're taking physical data out. So what you would do during the day is you'd set it unused, which means nobody can access it because maybe you don't want someone accessing a specific column for whatever reason, including logic, production, security, could be anything. Late at night, when the column or the table is no longer in use for a certain period, then you can drop the unused space, assuming you've got time within a window to drop that space. You don't ever have to drop it, you can just leave it in there. Typically in a production environment, you wouldn't actually do drop unused columns unless you really need the room, which in the modern day with the size of storage areas and the capacity and the cost of storage, the low cost of storage, it's not really necessary to always drop unused columns. Maybe if you got a lot of them after a long period of time you might, but in that situation maybe you could even just regenerate tables anyway. So it's all a matter of situation, environment. So we're going to take these commands and we're going to go and push them into here and save them in the script.